This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. We have a lot to cover in today's video as we're going to be going over what you need to know about last night's tsunami warning, the new Amazon Go store that just opened up in Seattle, and that billionaire couple who's involved in the pharmaceutical industry who, according to private investigators, was murdered, which directly contradicts the official narrative. So on that note, let's jump right into this. Last night, just after midnight, an 8.2 magnitude earthquake was detected in the Gulf of Alaska, and this created a tsunami warning for the people of British Columbia and the western states all the way down to San Diego. In Kodiak, Alaska, first responders were driving through the streets warning residents that they needed to evacuate immediately.
Tsunami Warning, please evacuate immediately. Please go to the Kodiak High School.
It's a pretty chilling warning to be woken up to say the least, and it's eerily reminiscent of what the people of Hawaii just had to go through psychologically, where one moment everything appears to be fine, the very next moment you're facing sudden death. The U.S. Geological Survey released this image with the warning, if you are in a tsunami warning area, evacuate inland or to higher ground above and beyond the designated tsunami hazard zones. I happen to live in this little area right here, so I ended up waking up today to some text messages from friends and loved ones wondering if I'm okay and if I'm in any danger. Of course, this wasn't a drill, and their concerns were very legitimate, especially when you consider that this has happened before. When a 9.2 magnitude earthquake hit the coast of Alaska in 1964, creating a tsunami for the Port Alberni area of the Vancouver Island. But the one thing many people may not be aware of is the fact that we haven't even seen the big one yet, according to earthquake seismologists here on the West Coast. The real big one, the one that keeps engineers awake at night, is actually a magnitude 7.0 crustal earthquake with an epicenter close to Victoria and Vancouver, and there's a 1 in 5 chance that it could hit in the next 50 years. So as it turns out, we're currently in the same situation right now that we were in yesterday before this warning, because the big one has yet to happen yet. So the takeaway from this, folks, is that you need to be ready. We're beyond the point of needing to be prepared for the worst here. Do you have food and water stored? Are you stocked up on survival equipment so that you could last in the wilderness for a week or more? Are you armed with guns and ammo? Are you God-fearing? Do you have the skills to completely make it on your own without the aid of the government? If you answered yes to these questions, then you're on the right track, and congratulations for that. But if you find you still have some work to do, I want to suggest to you 2 Canadian YouTube channels that I recently came across. The first is the Canadian Prepper. He provides innovative gear reviews, discussions about the collapse of civilization as we know it, self-defense, and of course all things preparedness from a Canadian perspective. So definitely check him out. Links will be located in the description below. And the second YouTube recommendation for today is the Urban Farmer with Curtis Stone. He's the owner of Green City Acres, a commercial urban farm based out of Kelowna, BC, and he teaches you all about being self-sustainable when it comes to growing your own healthy organic produce. So definitely check him out. I'll be seeing him in just a few weeks from now at the annual Anarchapulco conference in Acapulco, Mexico. So stay tuned for an exclusive interview that I'm going to be doing with him one-on-one next month. And moving on to our second story of the day, Amazon Go has just launched in Seattle. This is the grocery store concept where there's no cashiers and no lineups. You just simply walk in, you grab the item of your choosing, and you walk out, and your Amazon account is then charged accordingly. The concept was announced over a year ago, and they've been testing the system out ever since perfecting the technology and preparing to unleash this onto the public, and lo and behold, here we are as the first Amazon Go store has officially just launched in Seattle. An Amazon Go app is required to be downloaded in order to enter the space, but once in there, a mesh of CCTV cameras and sensors follow your every move as you peruse the aisles looking for your favorite items. But is there a cause for concern here? Well, some people don't think so, as droves of shoppers lined up out front of the store that famously offers no lines. It seems they're willing to exchange convenience for privacy without even knowing what kind of private information they are in fact giving up. But with just a little bit of digging, I found the patent that was filed by Amazon in 2014, which shows exactly why people should be concerned about this new brick and mortar development. The patent transitioning items from a materials handling facility was filed by Amazon Technologies in 2014, outlining a system for automatically transitioning items from a materials handling facility without delaying a user as they exit the materials handling facility. And it goes on to detail exactly how a customer's every movement in the store is tracked, traced, and databased, and how this has created a whole new level of personal surveillance. As this mesh of black mat CCTV cameras is following you around, Amazon is collecting data on your location and your consumption habits. So the company could use this to manipulate your purchasing impulses on a granular level through recommendations and offers. It could sell this information to marketers, or it could integrate it with other aspects of the Amazon business, like their model to predict what kind of products a customer is likely to buy. You couple that with the Amazon Echo, which is learning your living habits at home, and boom, there you have the perfect recipe for retail success. This patent even states that the cameras will be able to identify a customer's skin tones, which would open up the possibility of categorizing customers into gender and racial demographic columns on its database. The promotional video showed a woman picking up a cupcake with the system recognizing these movements. So in theory, this would enable Amazon to ping the customer a notification with a 10% discount of said cupcake, essentially moving the price point based on what a customer is willing to pay, which is the holy grail of the retail business, and they've done it all at the cost of your privacy. So before you get too excited about the convenience of this revolutionary new store, you may want to know what kind of info and just how much data they are collecting on you. And moving on to our last story for today, we have the case of that billionaire pharmaceutical couple who was just murdered, according to private investigators, which directly contradicts the official narrative that this was a murder-suicide. Barry Sherman was the chairman of Canada's largest drug manufacturer, Apotex, and it seems that he made some powerful enemies throughout the course of his career. According to Zero Hedge, when their bodies were discovered, both Barry and Honey had leather belts around their necks that were also knotted around the pool's handrail. The detectives found evidence that Honey struggled before dying, bleeding out on the floor before being moved to the position where she was found. There was also evidence to suggest that the couple was, at one point shortly before their deaths, bound together. And it was recently revealed that Barry Sherman was under investigation for breaking lobbying rules. But he filed a lawsuit to quash an investigation into a Liberal Party fundraiser that he hosted that some suggest breached lobbying rules. In 2014, Apotex worked with Direct Relief in Haiti, who was an active member of the Clinton Foundation and the Clinton Global Initiative community, supporting post-hurricane relief efforts there. The pharmaceutical company airlifted vaccinations and other medical supplies into Haiti that was funded through charitable donations to the Clinton Foundation and other connected charities. But despite his connections with the Trudeaus and the Clintons, I feel that the biggest smoking gun here is the fact that through his company Apotex, he became a trailblazer in the business of generic pharmaceuticals, and he was putting drugs on the market at prices that directly undercut that of his brand name competitors. And because of this, he wrote in his book Prescription Games the following: "They hate us. They have private investigators on us all the time trying to investigate. The thought once came to my mind, why didn't they just hire someone to knock me off? For $1,000 paid to the right person, you can probably get someone killed. Perhaps I'm surprised that hasn't happened." And lo and behold, folks, there's your answer. It would seem that Barry and his wife Honey were actually good people involved in the pharmaceutical industry, a rarity to say the least. He was undercutting the competition, and for that, he paid with his life. This is all the more reason why we need to reject Big Pharma altogether, by growing our own medicine in the form of the cannabis plant, and by growing our own healthy organic produce so that we can be self-sustainable without needing any kind of help whatsoever from the government. Let me know your thoughts on these stories today, and also let me know what you think of this new format of covering 3 topics in one video. If you like it, I'll bang out more of these moving forward. Be sure to subscribe to us here if you have not yet already, and also check the links in the description to find out how you can join us as a PFT member or a PFT patron. This channel is only made possible through your continued support and with your donations at pressfortruth.ca/donate. So thanks for watching, my friends. Click that like button and share this video if you found the information to be useful. And stay tuned, we've got more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth.